Going over the weekly and monthly results for the portfolios, brand new equity peaks in the micro stock index and micro gold portfolio. 2 days in a row, it wasn't a huge gain. This is the column where you can find the daily gains. And so there was an equity peak yesterday and another equity peak on Thursday and another one on Friday, just by $51 though. So wasn't a huge equity peak yesterday, but it is at equity peaks and has been the hottest setup on the month micro stock index and micro gold portfolio. Let's look at the 50K portfolio from our webinar, and you see it is up 3,055 on the month. It was down 970 yesterday, but three out of four trading days were profitable. Didn't trade on Wednesday when we did our webinar, so the one day that it didn't trade was the day that we were doing our webinar, so that was interesting. But some days it doesn't trade. So see back here, I think that might have been a holiday, but some days it doesn't trade. It usually trades every day. You can see the daily P&L column, and it's still in a good place to get in. It's in a drawdown, 67.05 out of 10,157, but up 3,055 on the month. Good trades in Cobra 3, and you see this drawdown curve. It's done this before, and there's been times where it's been a sharp bounce back. You see that straight line back to zero. That is to new equity peaks. When it gets to equity peaks, that's what that drawdown curve represents, is a $0 drawdown straight back to equity peak. So good opportunity to get in on that on a 10 strategy portfolio. Micro stock index and gold portfolio went straight up to a equity peak this week. Let me show you how that worked. And it was down here at the beginning of the month. It was down here. Great entry point, great support on that drawdown, max drawdown curve level, straight back to equity peaks. So good run in micro stock index and gold portfolio. Other portfolios can do that as well. The 50K portfolio could be poised to do that. The 200K portfolio, it was up on the month 6201.50, and you can see it's having a pretty consistent year. It's bouncing off these, it's holding these worst case drawdowns pretty well on the new setup. And let's look at stock index portfolio 27. Really strong gains this week, this month, 12,637.50 after a disappointing January. Let's look at the drawdown curve for that. This one has a tight drawdown curve, and it just barely flashed past that worst case drawdown. Small increases in worst case drawdown should not be, you shouldn't have a tight stop loss on your portfolio around this worst case drawdown. You should start them, you should start your trading in a drawdown, so when it barely makes a worst case drawdown, it's not a huge deal. You don't want to start at an equity peak. So this one has bounced back. You see it ran to equity peaks up here, and then it had a pullback, and then it ran up here. So good month so far in the stock index portfolio 27, and all strategy access 51 plus 7 is the hottest performer, most consistent performer. This takes the 51 strategies that we liked from 2020, added 7 new, and it's very strong, up 32K on the year, and near an equity peak. It made an equity peak on Thursday, had a little bit of drawdown on Friday, and let me double check that. Yeah, it made that equity peak there. Zero equity curve, made 11,676. A huge week, 3,971.50, 11,676 on the up days, down 3,000 and down 1960 on the down days. So let's look at short list 51. It was it's not doing much yet this year, but it is holding in there. So let's look at the all 78. All 78 is up 34,000, just a little bit more. It does have a higher drawdown, and it is a little more volatile. So let's look at what it's done. So it's made this worst case drawdown in 2020, which, if you think about 2020, a portfolio, it should probably have a worst case drawdown. If there's going to be more volatility and higher prices, you're going to have more volatility. So 55,158. It's in a 17K drawdown. Here's what the week looked like: plus 5K, plus 12K, minus 3270, plus 12K, plus 367.50. So 2 days where it was at the 5-figure level, and the previous week was really harsh. The last 7 days of last month was really hard, and so you see that drawdown right there, and it's making making quite a bit back, up down 34K on these 7 days, and back up 27K here. So those last 7 days of January were kind of like Q4 2020. So that's the update for the portfolio results for Capstone Trading Systems for February through February the 5th, 2020. This will be in the portfolio calculator section. Go to CapstoneTradingSystems.com, click on calculator, and you can download this latest calculator right here.